And that is, I would switch Jared Goff and Justin Herbert. Because here's the thing with Herbert, too.
Oh, my God.
He's about to fall off a little bit. Joe Alt's gone for the season.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right? And as you said, his replacement is not Joe Alt.
Yep.
So I think he's going to drop a little, which I would have loved to have seen them whole. Even without Slater, just with Alt there, because I think they're a really good team. But I think Herbert's going to come back to earth a little bit. He's already thrown 4 interceptions like his last 5 games or something like that. Goff only has 3 interceptions the entire season. Here are their numbers next to each other. I mean, Goff's are way better. It's not even close in just about everything except passing yards per game. But, everything else. Goff, he hasn't had any like huge, or not many. I think he had one huge game. But he's just steady and leading that, one of the top offenses.
So maybe this is unfair. Maybe this is the hand size bias. I don't know. But watching that game against Minnesota made me really nervous for Goff specifically, but for the Lions, because you saw what has just been an offense that works like clockwork. They were able to get pressure, and Goff went it's hard to play when you're under duress. Listen, Mahomes was under constant duress on Sunday night and played poorly. It just feels for the Lions, and again, maybe it's my own biases, different. When it's like, man, the moment he doesn't have real protection, it feels like an automatic negative play. And I agree with you, Brew, that projecting forward, I think Herbert's going to play his way down and Goff will probably play his way up. But right now, I think Herbert has done as well as he could do given the offensive line injuries, but I understand the point.
Justin Herbert has been elite with an absolute decimated life. I love how we're now finally admitting that it's hard to play quarterback when you're being pressured nonstop. Patrick Mahomes even played poorly. I'm so happy we admitted that, as I have been making all these graphics showing you just how elite Justin Herbert has been, how I was showing you how his numbers at a historical rate of being pressured and hit is that it's comparable to other quarterbacks, aka Patrick Mahomes, when he's not being pressured at a historical rate. Also having an insane amount of drops. And so we're not going to go through all of this again, right? And I'm not going to go through all of those graphics again. But just this idea that Justin Herbert's numbers have only been so good, blah, blah, blah. He's been pressured 155 times right now. Times. That's insane. Times. The next relevant quarterback who it actually really matters is Patrick Mahomes, 118. That is such a massive difference. I can't even begin to tell you. And yet their passer rating, 97.3. Patrick Mahomes, 98.2. So Nick just admitted that it's hard to play a quarterback when you're pressured. I already showed you that whole video. I posted it. It's a great one. Watch it where it compares Patrick Mahomes in games that he was pressured and compared it to what Justin Herbert has done when he's pressured. And it's not even close. Justin Herbert knocks it out of the park. Knocks it out of the park. You want to talk about drops and all these issues. 76.9 adjusted completion percentage for Justin Herbert. I mean, and you want to talk about pressures right now. Jared Goff, 93. Justin Herbert's on track to have double the pressures. I mean, it's just bonkers to me. Justin Herbert has thrown for 2,390 yards, 67.7% completion percentage. He does not have the offense and the team around him that Jared Goff does. And listen, I'm not trying to knock Jared Goff because of the roster that he has. I think Jared Goff is a great quarterback, and this is my always issue with the mountains of like having to always move someone up, and I always have tiers and whatnot. But like, what Justin Herbert is doing right now is insanely impressive. And I'll just even use a quarterback who you guys know I respect so much, Jalen Hurts. I did not knock Jalen Hurts for being a great quarterback last year with a great team. I'm not going to do that. I didn't do it for Brock Purdy, didn't do it for Jared Goff, etc., etc. And I don't automatically elevate a quarterback for playing great with a less than great team. It depends on the situation, depends on the team, depends on what the issues are. the coaching staff? How good's your defense? Is it the O-line? Do you have bad receivers, but the receivers are catching the ball? Right. Like that matters too. Sometimes you have better receivers, but they're dropping the ball. So then it's just like, you know, but what Justin Herbert is doing right now is so insanely impressive. The last year that this was really impressive was what Joe Burrow was doing, and his O-line was decimated. He was getting pressured at an insane rate, but he did have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. He had a terrible defense, which is why I didn't hold his feet to the fire. But I think what he did was insanely impressive, and his numbers against the blitz and just under pressure in general were just through the roof. It was extraordinary. And now Justin Herbert is taking even more of a beating, having to use his legs, having his receivers drop the ball at an insane rate as well. He is taking care of the ball. He's actually pretty low on turnover-worthy plays. He's been on the receiving end of some bad luck with some tipped interceptions and whatnot. Like, those are on him. I get it. But, like, they're just different. To put this in perspective, he only has 6 actual turnover-worthy plays, whereas Patrick Mahomes has 13 turnover-worthy plays. Baker Mayfield, 13 turnover-worthy plays. Jared Goff, 7. So, you know, not all touchdowns are created equally. Not all 300-yard games are created equally. Not all 75% completion percentage are created equally. 50% completion percentage created equally. And not all interceptions are created equally. He's been pressured at such an insane rate, and yet only 1.5% for turnover. Worthy plays is insane. It's absolutely insane. It's one of the lowest in the NFL. Okay, 1.5. Kyler Murray's a little bit lower because he doesn't really play that much. Jalen Hurts, he's been taking care of the ball at an insane rate. Same with Josh Allen. And then Jacoby Brissett hasn't played enough. So literally top 3 in the NFL right now. And considering how much he's being pressured is insane. Josh Allen's only been pressured 88 times. Jalen Hurts is 104. Justin Herbert 155. And then the sack, the pressure to sack percentage. He's dealing with all this type of stuff, and yet his pressure to sack percentage is still extraordinary at 18.1%. Considering the sheer volume of pressure and quarterback hits that this man is having, it's just insane. It's absolutely insane. So even if his numbers degrade or it gets worse because one man can only do so much for so long, you have to give him credit right now. You have to give him credit for right now. What he is doing right now is more impressive to me than what Baker has done, than what Dak has done, what Mahomes has done. I mean, it just is, we see what happens when you're pressured nonstop. You see what happens, and if Jalen Hurts didn't win the Super Bowl, that's why I was bringing up Jalen Hurts before. I would say, what if Jalen Hurts didn't win the Super Bowl last year, and if he didn't play amazing in the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl and all that type of stuff? If they just had like a really great year, but they lost in the NFC Championship game or whatever, it was just a good game. No reason that Jalen lost. It was just they just lost, right, for whatever reason. I would say it's more impressive to me what Joe Burrow did with the Bengals than what Jalen Hurts did, or what Justin Herbert's doing right now than what Jalen did. But the sheer fact that Jalen was able to bring it home, that he was able to play elite, elevate in the playoffs in a way that Justin Herbert didn't, which is fine. He was under duress nonstop. Patrick Mahomes couldn't elevate either, just as what it is sometimes. But I just think we're losing sight just how impressive what like a Herbert or Burrow did, being under such constant duress. And again, obviously focusing more on Justin Herbert right now, they're not getting enough. He's not getting enough credit for that. And I just would think that when we saw what Patrick Mahomes looked like in one game where he had 18 or more pressures, like it was awful. And yet Justin Herbert in one game had 22 pressures. One game 27, one game 20, one game 26. And you know what? I made that graphic just for fun. I'll throw it up and go through it real fast again. Okay. 4 games. 4 out of 9 games. Justin Herbert has experienced 20 or more pressures. Patrick Mahomes, the most he's ever experienced was only 18. And it was the game against the Bills. So 1 out of 9 has he had 18 or more pressures. Justin Herbert, 28.75 yards per game. Patrick Mahomes, 250. This is all only for games that are under pressure. 63.1% completion percentage in those games where he's experiencing 20 or more pressures. Insane. Patrick Mahomes, 44.1%. Not so good. Adjusted completion percentage drops 74.5%, 55.2%. Gotcha. Passing touchdowns, 8. Patrick Mahomes, 0. Interceptions obviously hasn't beat because it's just sheer volume. But it ends up being a little over 1 interception per game, so it's a little bit of a toss-up, I guess, for interceptions, but you also get 2 touchdowns a game. 84.2 passer rating. Patrick Mahomes, 57.2. First downs, 15.75, so 16 first downs per game. Passing first downs when under pressure, 20 or more times. Only 10 for Patrick Mahomes. Turnover-worthy plays, as I showed you kind of before, he's only had 3 turnover-worthy plays in those 4 games when he's been under pressure 20 or more times. At a 1% rate, Patrick Mahomes had 3 in just one game, and just one game at a 7.3%. It's insane, absolutely insane. The pressure to sack percentage 12.6 to 16.7. The lower the better. Time to throw had actually less time to throw, 2.93 seconds, 2.93. Patrick Williams, 3.09. And don't tell me it's because Mahomes buys time. So does Justin Herbert. And you're going to see that. Rushing yards, 123 total. So 30.75 rushing yards per game. Per game when being pressured 20 or more times. Patrick Mahomes had 5 yards per attempt for rushing. 7.7 Patrick Mahomes, 5. 3 scrambles per game. 12 total. Only 1 scramble from Mahomes. 114 scramble yards. So the vast majority of those rushing yards were not designed runs. They were off script. Justin Herbert just being Justin Herbert doing Justin Herbert things. 5 yards for Patrick Mahomes. Rushing first downs. 2.5 per game, 2.5 per game. 10 in those 4 games. And had a PFF run grade of 87.9, 57, 56.8. I think I might have misspoke earlier when I went through, did I not have that here? I thought I did. I thought I had the PFF grade for the passing. That's weird. I think that's what this is. I'm not sure. And total yards per game, to me this is the most jarring. 318 yards total yards per game when being pressured 20 or more times. Patrick Williams, 255. Like, these numbers are actually genuinely insane. They really are, these numbers right here. So that's what it was. This is the PFF offense grade. So that is just regular passer rating. I knew I had it somewhere. The PFF offense rating, it's just so close to the passer rating. That's where I got tripped up. This is the true passer rating that we all know and love. This is the PFF offensive rating that people either love or hate. But what Justin Herbert is doing, I mean, it really is insane. And it's just, I don't know why we're downplaying it or we're not discussing it and giving it the credit that it's due, because he's being pressured at an insane rate. His receivers are dropping the ball at the same rate. He has to make up a huge portion of the run game. Stafford's not doing that right now. Dak's not doing that right now. Baker's not doing that. Jared Goff's not doing that. Like, that's always my problem with some of these conversations that we have. Because, again, as someone who's a big supporter of Goff, like, I'm not here trying to argue that, like, Goof isn't good or that Goof's struggling or that Goof's, a liability. Like, that's not my argument either. I think Goff is great, and Goff also becomes an underrated quarterback in a lot of ways. And that's, again, that's why I jumped to Jalen Hurts, because I have endless content on Jalen Hurts and how great I think he is right now. And I think what he's doing this year is more special than what he did last year. And so, multiple things can always be true at the same time, and things can also change season to season, week to week. But Justin Herbert has literally been absolutely carrying this Chargers team, and he's doing so while being walloped nonstop. You got to give the credit, man. You got to give the credit. I'm sorry. What Justin Herbert is doing. Put it this way. I think there's a real argument. And I just made a video about Sam Darnold and that, you know, if you think Stafford is at the top, Sam Darnold has to be right up there from just how impressed I am right now. And I have been speaking endless content about how amazing Sam Darnold has been this year and how he should be in the MVP conversation. All this stuff. What Justin Herbert is doing right now is more impressive to me than what Matthew Stafford is doing and what Sam Darnold are doing and what Josh Allen is doing. I think Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. I think what Justin Herbert is doing right now is more impressive. I just feel as though that looked no further than what Patrick Mahomes looked against the Buffalo Bills in that game. Now, Mahomes isn't going to always look like that. Mahomes absolutely has plenty of games where he was pressured a million times and succeeded and played great. No doubt about it. But it points to just how difficult it is and how difficult it is to do it game after game after game. That's what makes it so insanely impressive to me what Justin Herbert is doing. So again, I'm not talking about necessarily who's playing the best, who's the most elite, who's better into their core, and their core being as a quarterback right now. I'm just talking about what's the most impressed right now. And I would probably make the argument, and you know, listen, it can always change, but as of right now, I'm probably most impressed with Justin Herbert. And probably actually the next one is actually Jalen Hurts, just mainly because of all the narratives around him combined with the fact that A.J. Brown's causing problems. You have a brand new offensive coordinator. The O-line hasn't been good. They haven't been able to rely on Saquon Barkley. And Jalen Hurts has had to put a lot of weight on his shoulders. And I find it impressive, even if statistically Sam Darnold has been better, Stafford, you know. We can always make these statistical arguments. That's why maybe I'm just going to start doing a different mountain impressive mountain. It's not a bad idea, man. Maybe I'll have to add another mountain to the mix. Yeah, I'm not going to tolerate the Justin Herbert slander right now. The dude has just been, it's just the definition of carrying this team. My goodness. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Justin Herbert? Get Herbert golf that row according to Brew? I'll have none of it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.